Girbeagly!
Hey there guys and gals, it's Girbeagly with another episode of Gaming with Girbeagly, and I'm once again playing another random one-shot from over on Itch.io. This is a game called literally just a game about coming out, and this game is actually very special. This was actually created as a first game by a member of our very own little community. Those of you guys who know marblemads, she's one of my moderators over on Twitch. She's also very active in the community on like Twitter and everything like that. If you know her, she created this game. This is apparently a very personal tale, so it's told through a female perspective about literally coming out to her dad. And this is built in the Twine engine, so I don't think that this is something that has any sort of like sound or like background music or anything like that. It's completely text-based, which is what the Twine engine is for. You sort of just click on highlighted text, as you'll see here on the screen, and that sort of drives the narrative and it determines the experience that you have. So it's sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure style thing. But this game, according to the description, was made for a class assignment. We were told to make a self-portrait, but as a game. So this is something that's very special to someone. Again, a first game project. I thought that it was really interesting. I'd love to learn this tale. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's dive on in. So you're in the car with your dad. He's driving you back to college after a weekend at home. We can click home here. He asks if you're excited for your trip next week. You freeze. You remember what your mom said before you left. What did mom say? You need to tell him before your trip, before you tell anyone else. He needs to know first. So mom already knows. Mom's in our corner. Mom's backing us up. But only if we make sure that, you know, our dad knows, someone who's very close to us, someone who would take this very personally if we didn't go to him first. So yeah, we'll let him know first. Here, mom. She's not allowed to decide when I come out, you think? That's on my terms. Very true as well. As anyone who has to go through this type of thing knows, it's something that takes a lot of courage in some situations. It's something that oftentimes can actually be dangerous for people. So you never know what someone's reaction is going to be to this kind of news. So this is something that, again, very personal, very relatable in a lot of ways for people who have to go through this experience. But she does have a point. Yeah, so she does have the point, even though it's still going to ultimately be on us to pull the trigger. Your dad thinks you're just visiting a friend over spring break. He paid for your trip since you couldn't go on the family vacation. What he doesn't know is that you're visiting your girlfriend. There it goes. There it drops. Or that you're bi, which is obviously the bigger realization in this game. On the one hand, you don't want to hide this from him. Might make the situation worse down the road, hiding the truth about something he's funding for you. On the other hand, you don't want to make the entire 3.5 hour long car ride awkward and potentially have to stay home for break. Also, he might actually just drive you to the nearest gas station and leave you. Probably not, but he might. You never know. Oh man. And again, there's that fear. Like there's so many stories about people who come out to their family or people that they think are supportive of them who do horrible things in response because they can't understand or they can't accept whatever the reality is. And it's so horrible to hear those stories. The only thing that I always pass along to those types of people is that it's up to you, again, to determine when's the safest time to come out about these things. And always know that even if blood relatives or people who are super close to you aren't going to be supportive, there are so many people, hundreds and thousands of people out there who are willing to basically take you in to let you know that you're cared for. There's so many resources and organizations that are there to support you in your time of need. So never feel alone because so many other people have gone through this experience before. He asks if you're excited for your trip next week. Oh, okay, so we actually get a choice this time. So this is where the Twine engine really kicks in. You get to choose your own narrative here. So yeah, it'll be nice to see a friend again, or we can say yeah about that. And I'm guessing yeah about that is us just cutting straight to it, just saying exactly what the truth is. I feel like I want to be truthful in this playthrough. I want to see, I don't know how long this game is. I'm assuming it's pretty short, but we'll go ahead, we'll say yeah about that. You mentioned there's something you've wanted to tell him for a while now. He looks at you. You can't read his face. Uh-oh. You take a deep breath. Uh-oh. There's something you should know about this trip. He looks even more confused than before. I'm not going to visit a friend. I'm going to visit my girlfriend. Your girlfriend? Yeah, you say. I'm bi. There it is. He looks more confused than you've ever seen him. You're bi. Yes. You're unsure if he knows what it means, but you explain anyway, just in case. I still like guys, just not exclusively guys. He's quiet for long enough to make you uncomfortable. Oh no. I hope I didn't choose wrong. I hope I didn't like jump the gun here. Because that's the whole thing is like, the main character is obviously feeling a lot of pressure to tell her dad about this, but at the same time, like, you know, maybe finding the exact right moment. Like, you know your parents the best, like better than anyone else who can give you advice ever will, and you know yourself the best, better than anyone else who can give you advice ever will. So finding that timing that like aligns perfectly or as perfectly as it can is definitely important. So hopefully I didn't jump the gun here. Well, at least you're not telling me you want to be a boy or something. Oof, yuck. Not a good response, Dad. You gave him a what the hell look? What? Well, when you said there's something you wanted to tell me, I thought you either, one, were dropping out of college, or two, wanted to be a boy. I'm glad it's neither of those. Oof. Not very good to toss in that anti-trans language there, Dad. You want to make a comment about how some of your best friends are trans, but you can't bring yourself to. You did just come out to your dad after all. Instead, you just tell him that while you don't understand why it would be an issue if you were a man, that's a discussion for another time. I mean, that's probably the smart way to do it. This is probably something that's newer to him. It sounds like he's someone of more conservative ideals and like thoughts. So maybe he's someone who just needs more time to get used to this. And as he gets introduced to other parts of the LGBTQ plus community, he'll become more accepting of them over time, more open to them. We'll see. I don't know. Right, I know. I just wasn't expecting you to say that is all. You're quiet a bit longer. Well, I'm not sure how I feel about all of that. You brace yourself. You were worried something like this might happen based on things you've heard him say about gay couples in the past. So yeah, again, like I said, it's something where like he clearly comes from a very traditional background of some sort and unfortunately hasn't changed with the times as far as thinking about those types of subject matters go. But you know, I'll love you and support you no matter what. Aw, well, that's good. That's a good turn there in the narrative. You look up at him, a mixture of happy and sad tears in your eyes. I love you too, Dad. You finish dinner, filling him in on the details of your relationship, and have him drive you the rest of the way to campus. You exchange one last set of I love yous as you get out of the car with your things, and you watch him drive off. You go to bed that night feeling not like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, but rather like it's been replaced by another weight. Oh well, you think, I guess it could have been worse. And so there we go. There's the story. Again, a very personal tale, one that's not going to resonate with every single person viewing this video or playing this game, but one that some of you out there might feel that familiar tug at your heartstrings about. This was actually very well written. Mads, you did a great job with this. I like the story. Again, super personal, super intimate details here. It felt like a very real conversation because I'm guessing it's one that you probably had with your father or one that was along the same lines, and you just filled in some, you know, other details there as far as like making it a little bit more dramatic. But again, it's one of those experiences that it is dramatic. It's absolutely dramatic. It's one of those things that's so personal, and the timing has to be just right, and sometimes it never will be, and sometimes there's people who just can't come to terms with accepting it or whatever, and there's a lot of scary things that go into that. It takes a very, very brave person to come out and 100% be themselves, especially to those that they love, people that they don't want to cut them out of their lives if that ends up being like that horrible worst case scenario, etc. There's so many different things and factors that go into a situation like this. So this was a beautiful tale. This definitely has one of those outcomes where it's like, yeah, Dad doesn't quite get it, but he's learning and he's willing to learn. He's willing to accept at least me and look past his personal views to be like, yeah, of course I support my daughter. Of course I love her. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a very nice message. Obviously, there were other choices in there near the beginning. If you guys want to find out what happens in those routes, I absolutely encourage you to play this game yourselves. I'll leave a link down below in the description like I normally do so that you can download this for free from over on Itch.io. But for a first game and a class assignment, which I'm assuming had a very, very tight time frame, great job, Mads. Thank you so much for sharing your game with this community, and I'm very happy that I had a chance to play it here. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, it was great seeing ya. Bye-bye.
Girbeagly.